The market is a bit slower this week, but there's still a few important cards moving a price that you should pay attention to. See them all here in this latest episode of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. This video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now, you can pre-order Avatar The Last Airbender products as well as Lorwyn Eclipse, or find any number of other great items on their website, Magic related or otherwise. Remember, shipping is free in the US if your order is over $100 or consists only of singles. Just look in the description or the comment section below for direct links to their site. Hey there, this is John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. As I said in the cold open, things are pretty slow this week, but there are a few key cards moving, and we're going to see all of them. As always, our lists are based on two pieces of criteria: the percentage change in the value of the cards, as well as the change in the number of sales from week to week. Quickly before we get started though, just a couple fast things. I do want to say thank you to one of our viewers who gave a super thanks tip last week, and that is Todd Branch. Todd, thank you so much for your tip. It means a lot. I really could not do this without support from viewers like yourself. Thank you again, Todd, for all your generosity. And I also want to thank another one of our gold patrons, and that is Drave. Drave, thank you for all your support on Patreon. Like I said, it really does go a long way and helps a ton. Thank you for everything, Drave. And now, without any further ado, let's get into it. We'll begin with the top 10 coldest cards of the week. There are several Spider-Man cards on here this time around, which isn't too surprising since a lot of product has been opened. Many of the other cards are cards that have been recently climbing. So let's begin with number 10, Eldrazi Confluence. Down $1.02 to $8.05, that's an 11% decrease. This is from the Modern Horizons 3 Eldrazi Incursion Commander deck. A couple weeks ago it spiked since it was part of the surging mostly blue Cloudpost deck in Legacy. The build is still performing well, and many versions of the deck run a copy or two of Eldrazi Confluence, but when the card spiked, more copies went up for sale, so this week we see a little retraction. Number 9 is Cosmo Grand Zenith, down $1.02 to $10.73, that's a 9% decrease. This is getting a fair amount of play in Pioneer as well as Standard, but it is a newer card from Edge of Eternities. Lots of that product has been opened recently, so Cosmo Grand Zenith is sliding down a little this week. Number 8, Sway of the Stars, down $1.10 to $5.99, that's a 16% decrease. This was taken off the Commander ban list at the beginning of the year, which caused the card to spike. It has seen some play in the format, but really hasn't found any consistent homes. This week, Gavin Verhey announced that Sway of the Stars, along with a few other cards, would be coming off the Game Changers list. You might have expected to see this card moving up because of that, but instead it's dipping as players continue to realize that Sway of the Stars isn't as powerful as many thought it was when it was unbanned. Number 7 is Peter Parker, down $1.22 to $7.48, that's a 14% decrease. As I said a moment ago, lots of Marvel Spider-Man cards have been opened and are circulating, so this one is sliding down a little. Number 6, Norman Osborn, down $1.27 to $11.72, that is a 10% decrease. This is another card from Marvel Spider-Man. Number 5, Anti-Venom Horrifying Healer, down $1.27 to $12, that's a 10% decrease. Third verse, same as the first, all three of these Spider-Man cards are solid, especially in Commander. This one has become a popular Commander as a matter of fact, but it's still moving down this week. This was number 6 on the hot list last week. This week it arrives on the cold list to number 4, Noetic Scales, down $1.34 to $10.50, that's an 11% decrease. Last week I mentioned that the price jump attached to this card felt like the result of a shaky spec. Some may have thought that this could be good in Commander builds around Leonardo Sewer Samurai, which was recently previewed from the upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set. This week, more copies of Noetic Scales enter the marketplace and the price slides down. Number 3 is Attunement, down $1.48 to $15.49, that's a 9% decrease. This is a solid card in Pre-Modern, and recently it saw increased Commander play around Norman Osborn / Green Goblin for Marvel Spider-Man. The extra attention caused Attunement to see some dramatic spikes. Now though, more copies of it are going up for sale as sellers try to take advantage of the higher price point, resulting in some retraction. Number 2 is Gwenom Remorseless, down $1.93 to $13.17, that's a 13% decrease. Another Marvel Spider-Man card moving down, and it's another one that's been getting a good amount of Commander play. This was number 3 on the hot list last week. This week, it takes the top spot on the cold list. Coming in at number 1, Takeo, the Patient Avalanche. Down $4.91 to $14.94, that is a 25% decrease. This spiked aggressively last week because some of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles previews sparked interest in Takeo. You know how it goes though, sellers saw the spike, more copies hit the marketplace, leading to some retraction this week. Alright, it is now time for the main event. These are the top 10 hottest cards of the week, starting with number 10, Brain Geyser from Revised, up $1.30 to $16.24, that's a 9% increase. This reserve list card has been turbulent recently. It's moving up this week after dipping a week ago. Most likely these movements are just tied into inventory changes online. Number 9, Choice of Damnations, up $1.32 to $13.99, that's a 10% increase. This one-print wonder doesn't see all that much play to speak of, but it is moving up right now. Why is that? Well, some are speculating that this may play well with a card from the upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set, that's Super Shredder. Number 8, Sarcomancy, up $1.39 to $16.39, that's a 9% increase. This reserve list card has been hot on and off recently since it gets a fair amount of play in pre-modern. Sarcomancy frequently appears in mono black aggro builds there. Because of that, this card has been slowly climbing for several weeks now. Number 7, The Lost and the Damned, up $1.55 to $6.19, that's a 33% increase. This is from the Ruinous Powers Warhammer 40k Commander deck. It would show up occasionally in a Commander build, like the ones around Loot the Key to Everything, for example. However, recently the Marvel Spider-Man set brought us several cards that encourage you to play spells from places other than your hand. Many have the Mayhem mechanic, which lets you cast a card with Mayhem from your graveyard. Not surprisingly, The Lost and the Damned is seeing increased Commander play and builds around a couple cards from Marvel Spider-Man, Gwen Stacy / Ghost Spider, and Norman Osborn / Green Goblin. Coming in at number 6 is Entangler, up $2.16 to $9.17, that's a 31% increase. This is a very old one-print wonder that up until recently had only seen light Commander play. Sometimes it would appear in builds around Jared Carthalion True Air, for example. It's jumping now, however, for a couple reasons. First, many Commander players want to include Entangler in their new builds around Anti-Venom Horrifying Healer from Marvel Spider-Man. Secondly, though, some are looking to put Entangler in Commander decks around a card from the Sony PlayStation Ghost of Tsushima Secret Lair, that is Jin Sakai Ghost of Tsushima. Quickly before we get to our top 5, just a fast reminder, this video is sponsored by Flipside Gaming. Check out flipsidegaming.com for all your gaming needs. Right now you can pre-order Avatar The Last Airbender products there. You can also pre-order Lorwyn Eclipsed as well, or find a whole lot of other items on their website, magic related and otherwise. Remember, if your order is over $100 or consists only of singles, shipping will be free in the United States. And if you're looking for a direct link to their site, just check out the description or the comments section below. I do have links posted in both of those places. And now, without any further ado, let's get to the top 5. Coming in at number 5, False Cure, up $2.27 to $7.56, that's a 43% increase. This one-print wonder wasn't seeing much play anywhere until Marvel Spider-Man came out. Now it's appearing in Commander decks around Mr. Negative, and that has caused False Cure's price to jump. Number 4, Ashling the Extinguisher, up $2.37 to $7.52, that's a 46% increase. It's been a long time, but this is an Eventide rare that has yet to be reprinted, so I think it might be time for my one per video. You may know that during this time period in Magic there was a recession in the game and less packs of Eventide and some other sets were cracked. Due to the lower supply, some of these cards, especially the rares that have not been reprinted, tend to spike when there is some attention on them. So why are people paying attention to this now? Well, it's another card that Commander players want for their new builds around Jin Sakai Ghost of Tsushima from Sony PlayStation's Ghost of Tsushima Secret Lair. Number 3 is Solitude from Modern Horizons 2, up $2.79 to $24.73, that's a 13% increase. This is a huge Modern card, and we recently saw a lot of Modern play at Pro Tour Edge of Eternities. As expected, this card was all over the place. In fact, 2 decks in the top 8 ran 4 copies in the main. Those were mostly Azorius Control and Esper Gorios. Aside from those two builds, a few other big modern decks run Solitude, including Esper, Jeskai, Azorius, and Orzhov generic blank, as well as Azorius control, Esper control, and sometimes Jeskai energy. There are players in other formats that want this card too, though. Solitude is a great legacy card as well. There it's found in Orzhov, Yorion Death and Taxes, Boros Initiative, Esper Vile, and Mono White Initiative. Solitude is also a huge 1v1 dual commander card where it's found in tons of decks there. A couple of the most popular ones are around Felia Exuberant Shepherd and Cloud Midgar Mercenary. Plus it gets a little regular commander play too in decks like Brago King Eternal and Omnith Locus of Creation. It's even seeing more play now, sometimes appearing in decks around Anti-Venom Horrifying Healer from Marvel Spider-Man. Put it all together, Solitude is a hot card right now. Number 2 this week is Null Rod, up $6 to $89.99. That's a 7% increase. This reserveless card sees a little commander play. Sometimes it's in decks around Minsk and Boo Timeless Heroes, for example, but Legacy and Vintage are the formats where you see this the most. It's in a ton of Legacy sideboards. It appears in builds like Eldrazi, Izzet Delver, Dimir Tempo, Ocelot Pride Midrange, Non-Yorion Beanstalk Control, Azorius Control, and sometimes Jeskai Control. Meanwhile, in Vintage, this is found in sideboards as well as main decks in builds like Dimir Luris Control, Mono White Initiative, Sphere Shops, Esper Luris Control, Oath of Druids, Raker Shops, and Scam. Considering Null Rod is a reserveless card, I have no doubt it will continue to climb in price over time, especially because of the amount of play it gets. And finally, coming in at number 1, Quantum Riddler, up $13.73 to $48.73. That's a 32% increase. This is another card being pushed in large part due to Pro Tour Edge of Eternities. It appeared in several decks during that event, including the Esper Goryo's Vengeance and Esper generic Blink decks that made it into the top 8. Additionally, this is seen in modern builds like Jeskai generic Blink, Azorius generic Blink, Esper midrange, Dimir midrange, and sometimes Jeskai Energy and Esper Control. Quantum Riddler is all over the place in Standard. I don't think that's going to change that much in the future, but right now you can find it in Izzet Cauldron, Temur Battlecrier Combo, Dimir Control, Azorius Control, Izzet Prowess, and sometimes Simic Omniscience. In Pioneer, you see this in Izzet Rona Combo, Dimir Midrange, and Izzet Midrange. It gets legacy play too, though. Quantum Riddler is found in Non-Yorion Beanstalk Control, Azorius Control, Esper Vile, and sometimes Doomsday there. Plus, this is appearing in a few 1v1 dual commander builds, like the ones around Kefka Court Mage and Satya Aetherflux Genius, for example. Quantum Riddler has even been seeing some additional play in that format in decks around Spider-Man 2099 from Marvel Spider-Man. Not to mention that in regular Commander, Quantum Riddler is sometimes used to upgrade the Edge of Eternity's Counterintelligence Commander deck, and it can be found in fresh builds around the front-facing Commander from there in Spirit Flagship Vessel. Long story short, Quantum Riddler is the breakout card from Edge of Eternities, and it's one you should keep an eye on. Alright, that does it for this episode of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. Good variety of different things moving card prices this week, which I think is healthy for the market in general. Overall, though, things are pretty stable, which again can be the sign of a good market. We'll have to see what happens in the coming weeks, especially with all these sets coming out. Anyway, this weekend I am going to do another MTG Arena stream, so check that out. Have your notifications on. Most likely it will be late Sunday morning or early Sunday afternoon. I am thinking of playing Spider-Man one more time. I know everybody's sick of it, but next week we do get Vintage Cube. We'll have to play some of that. Until next time, though, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible through the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page, as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.